Here's a look at where markets ended the week as Trump's tariff threats weigh on sentiment. This as investors are closely watching budget talks as congressional leaders debate when and how to address tax cuts. And, of course, the best strategy to push the president's fiscal agenda forward. Joining me now, the Bahnsen Group founder and CIO, David Bahnsen. David, always great to have you on the program. Thank you for being here. Let's start with those tax cuts. Of course, we're waiting on federal tax reform, but you also say it's very important that we see tax reform within the states.
Oh, I certainly want to see tax reform within the states. I think that there is a significant batch of states that happen to mostly be blue states in need of big reform. But of course, what the Trump administration can do is on the federal side and federal side only. It has to start with extending the 2017 tax cuts. I think Congress is mostly committed to doing that. But there's a lot of ambiguity right now, Jackie, about what they're going to be able to do beyond extending the 2017 Trump tax cuts.
And there's a lot of talk still about trying to push this into one big bill. The notion that tax reform could wait until August is not something that markets and investors would be really happy about.
No, and it won't be August either. If it goes into two bills, it's very likely going to be October, November, even December, very end of the year, because you will have lost the leverage for a lot of the easier parts of a bill that are going to kind of force a yes vote. And then it's just going to lead to a lot of delays and a lot more negotiation. And then, as you say, it extends the uncertainty in markets. So the two-bill approach may end up being necessary politically, but it is not ideal for markets.
Tell me what you think of the latest headlines that we're getting out of DOJ. We are finding billions of dollars of waste in this country. They're talking about giving payments to taxpayers because that is their money. And the debate on that is, well, that could be inflationary. But some people say no, when coupled with everything else that Donald Trump is trying to do, it actually wouldn't be. What's your take, David?
Well, I have two takes. It isn't inflationary because I know what the definition of inflation is, which is too much money chasing too few goods, and it would not be adding to the money supply. But I'm still very much against it because if you find waste, if DOJ is successful in finding fraud and so forth, the whole point is to reduce governmental debt. All we'd be doing, my analogy, Jackie, is if our credit card company charges us something wrongly, and then we get it figured out and they send us the money, but we leave the charge on the credit card. The fact of the matter is that we're supposed to be reducing the debt for our children and grandchildren. It's all our money, but they spent our money and more of it. If they uncover waste, they need to reduce the national debt.
Okay, fair point. Meantime, investors are looking at tariffs looming, not necessarily sure if they're a negotiation tactic or where we'll land with them, David. So if you're looking at this market right now, how do you want to invest?
Well, we believe very much that the most important factor in markets right now is valuation. There is uncertainty with tariffs. We've already talked about uncertainty with the Trump tax reform. And there's always different macroeconomic uncertainties. By the way, geopolitical ones as well right now. But even if everything goes well, even if the macroeconomic factor is good, and earnings come in solid, you still just have a market trading at 23 times forward earnings. So that to me means you want to go into quality, good free cash flows. You cannot be reliant on 5 or 6 big tech companies to generate the return. I think this is a solid year for dividend growers ahead. It's already started off that way this year. Value's doing well, financials, energy, consumer staples. I think that you want to focus on good quality and not be chasing momentum.
I love that. Back to basics. David Bahnsen, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jackie.